Evening, everyone. I'm laughing because I'm scuffing my face just as you caught me there. I always have Sunday night treats, chocolate raisins. Hey, Brenda, you're on. How did yesterday go, Brenda? I know you had your day at St Andrews. And Cherie, I need to get back to you as well regarding catching up, as do with Maggie as well. Hey Tony, how are you? Okay, I need to put my chocolate raisins down. One minute, guys. Hey. That's better. Ben, how are you? Rich, Jenny, how are you? I always give it 1 or 2 minutes just to wait for people to come on. Sam, you good? I'm excellent. Got my coffee and raisins, chocolate raisins. Okay, so on the back of last week, we had social media, which was really good. Again, we had over 1,000 viewers who tuned in. The week before, we had suicide. We've had Heart v Mind. We've had Islamophobia. We've had youth crime. What else we've had? We've had quite a lot of subjects we've spoken about. And for those that are new to it, it's not about opinions. It's about my beliefs, which are matched up biblically, and also opinions. We welcome people's opinions and further debate via social media. So it's a chance for people to interact. There's no rights, there's no wrongs. It's just a great forum for people to talk. Yes, bully. And that's what it's about, just getting people to open up and talk and hear each other's views on different subjects. And today's subject is about being a Christian. For those that don't know, I was born again 5-6 years ago now. And I have a friend who contacted me last week who was very close to doing something really, really bad, just because as a Christian she found it very hard to deal with issues at that time in her life. Thankfully, this week has been a really good week, and I hope she don't mind me saying Brenda, who's on the line. Hopefully this week has been a really fantastic week for you. I know it has. And you walked out yesterday with your beloved Birmingham City, which has been fantastic to hear. And I wanted to speak to you, as well as others, about being a Christian in today's society, which is interesting to say the least. So as always, I read a lot on the subjects. I refer back to biblical comments on the subject, so the subjects are not a opinion from me, they are quite balanced, but of course they are always open to great debate and hopefully interaction after the show is finished. So here we go. So being a Christian today is quite hard. So society makes you out to be some kind of crackpot, which I'm very much not. It also makes you out to be either a religious cult. Some societies try to belittle you and such. Being a Christian is quite cool. I absolutely love being a Christian. It's given me a lot of positivity and a lot of stability and a lot of things to ponder about, which probably 5, 10, 15 years ago I wouldn't even have thought of. But I think as you get older, you get wiser. As you get wiser, you get more smarter. And also children come along, which definitely changes your opinion on life. So some people used to say to me, like, Mike, I don't do anybody any harm. I don't do no wrong. Why can't I enter heaven? It's not fair. I'm a good person. But unfortunately, it does say in the Bible that Jesus said, I am the truth, the way, the light, and no man cometh to the Father but by me. Sorry, I'm jostling with this. I'm just trying to get it to a place where I am hands free. Okay. I think that's better, is it? Yeah. So I love being me. I love that. I love being a Christian. I love the discipline. I love the hope. I love the guidance that it's given me and my family. Probably before, there wasn't much guidance. Say what you want on here. I'm looking at you and love to bring a Christian great man. Love yesterday, still looking. Well said, Brenda. Okay. So Brenda was struggling. Brenda's just sent a message. She was struggling last week and asked to talk about Christianity. She's a Christian herself, and at times it's difficult. And she was up against difficult moments in her life, and quite rightly so. Ask, where's God in these moments? Is she supposed to be angry? Is she supposed to hit out? And there was a lot of unrest with Brenda. A week later, we're talking to a totally different Brenda, I hope. But I love being me. I love that I decided to find a role model who I could find in Jesus. And I think that was the catalyst for me. It was just actually trying to seek for some kind of guidance in life issues, some kind of which way to follow. And I think that's what's lacking with a lot of youngsters today is role models. And there was no way I could get anywhere near his standard, but there was something for me to strive for. And even if you're not a Christian, I think there's some great stories, life stories about Jesus that actually help in life, help give you certain direction, help give you certain disciplines, principles that probably real life doesn't go into. Brucey, what's going on? So, was Jesus mocked? Yes, he was. Was Jesus tempted? Yes, he was. Did people speak behind Jesus' back? Yes, they did. And also, Jesus nearly took the easy way out. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed for release from what was about to happen. So don't feel because you've experienced certain things during your Christian walk that you are any less of a Christian, because it's part of being a human being is that you will get these feelings. Jesus also got angry. In Matthew 21, and I'll just read a short manuscript. I want to go to church, but I'm deep down, but I don't do this about someone just together. Sarah, it's, and I'm gonna answer that one, Sarah, because I think it's important that it'd be great if you could go to church together, but deep down, it's you, it's your life, and it's it's you. It's you got to be strong enough to say, if you want to go, then you go. And do I feel that church is for everybody? No, not at all. For some people it might not be, totally the right thing for you to do, but if there's a calling and you feel strong enough and urgent enough to go to church, then regardless of what your other half or whatever's holding you back, you should go. You should definitely go. Joe Chasm listening. Big respect for Charlie and Joe online. So it says, and I'll read this small script about what Jesus did when he got angry. Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were bullying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. It is written, he said to them, my house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it into a den of robbers. So yes, Jesus was angry at times, yet he did not sin. Likewise, believers in Christ are taught to be angry and do not sin. Whilst anger is often viewed as a completely negative emotion, there are times a person can be angry for the appropriate reasons. In the case of Jesus, his anger was the result of ungodly attitudes and actions by those around him. Anger that reflects the anger of Christ requires two aspects. First, it must be properly motivated. In other words, anger because you do not get your way in a situation does not count. Because you do not get your way in a situation does not count. Religious hypocrisy or injustices of poverty or oppression are proper godly reasons to become angry. Bruce says the righteous anger. Absolutely, Bruce. Further, the anger of Jesus did not result in a long-term grudge. And this is something which is really strong. When people get angry, they hold grudges. When you hold grudges, that's something that is holding you, has a hold of you. I know people, and I'm sure we all do, are angry at a particular moment in their life or a particular person. And this anger, which, could be sorted out there and then, they don't say anything. It then goes into a week, a month, a year, 5, 10, 15. I know people that are still chained to angry moments, what happened 40, 50 years ago. They can't get over it. And because of the anger that they feel, the anger, because it's never been dealt with, now has got to a point where the anger has taken over their life. Somebody once likened it to a chain. When you are free, but you're not actually free, because you keep looking behind at your past, because something is still pulling you. And it's important that we do not let anger turn into a grudge, a long-term grudge, because this could have real detrimental effects. Our past can now affect our future because we've never dealt what was in our past. So it's important that as a Christian and as people in general, that we deal with things there and then. And sometimes there and then might not be nice. And listen, there are moments when it's not the appropriate time to say or do something, but within the space of a week, 2, 3 weeks, whatever it may be, that thing that has upset you in the present must be dealt with. And that might be child to parent, that might be parent to child, that whatever it may be, husband to wife, wife to husband, whatever it may be, you must be able to you must be confident enough to be able to go and speak to the person in love, with a degree of respect about something that has upset you, rather than it being turned to grudge, which then now holds you for the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And as I was saying, there was a story we've all seen about the elephant who's been chained for the last 10 years as a young elephant growing up in a circus. And what they did, they unchained the elephant, but the elephant still didn't go far from where it's been chained for the last few years, because it had always been chained and trained within that 10, 15 yard radius of a stump. So what I'm trying to say to you is that it's important that this does not manifest itself in your life, the grudge, the hurt from whatever has happened, because that can have effect not only on you, but those in and around your circle, be it husband, be it wife, be it children, so, and friends as well. Darren says, I love your faith, Jono, but the manuscripts are and were passed through generations over thousands of years by many different authors. As you well may know, how do you differentiate religion and morality? Why and how do you believe what you say is true? Isn't living a good life, for example? And that's a big question. That's probably another day. I know what I know, and I believe what I believe, and I choose to follow who I follow, as does every individual. Am I saying I'm right? No. But am I saying I'm right to myself? 100%. Hopefully you can still hear me, Darren. So it's up to an individual. Anybody wants to talk to me about my faith, I am more than happy to. Anybody that really is not, that's fine, because I've been where you've probably been. But I know what I know, and I feel quite comfortable to talk to anybody. Probably this is not the time for it, because there is an agenda which I'm going to follow. But that will be definitely a subject as to why I believe what I believe. And put it this way, am I going to... One of the things okay, I'm going to go off on one here, but let's come back to that another time. So in summary, Jesus did become angry on some occasion. He was not known as an angry person. Further, his anger was not an excuse for sinful actions, but rather for positive actions that helped others and honoured God. Through our lives, we must be able to make others see Christ. Lauren, how are you? I'm going to come back to that at the end, Daz, because I don't want you to feel I'm trying to slip through that. But I want to follow this first, and I'm going to come and hit that, because that's quite a deep and in-depth question. I also believe that you should let your light shine so that others may see your glorious works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So I would like for my children, and this is where I want to come to with Darren, but it will come to that. I want for my children to let them see the difference in me as a man. Let them see the discipline I hold in my life. Let them see that this is who I am, and I'm quite comfortable. They are free to make their own choices, and they are free to be who they want to be. But I want them to see through me and the life that I live, that this is what I have chosen and who I've chosen to follow. But being a Christian is tough in 2016. Michael, I pray with the ball, I go to the ref and didn't get a goal with it till it's... Yes, Greg, I'm coming to that. If you look at 2016, the world we're living right now, look at the sexual culture, which is, prominent everywhere you go, whether that's in adverts, whether that's in TV, whether that's part of culture, the way people dress. And that's both for ladies and men. If you look at the drinks and the drug culture, if you look at the lack of role models, and this is going back to the question that I will catch up with Darren, the dishonesty. Look at the dishonesty in the government. Look at football this week. It's hard being a Christian in 2016. Parents as well. Some of our parents are struggling to maintain certain order, certain discipline because of the lifestyle and what's in front of them. Our loved ones as well, and sometimes I look at myself as well. It's not cool to be a follower of Christ or to be a Christian, and I understand that certain places. Jenny, you need to let go. Yeah, I understand in certain places the question will be asked. And friends in workplace as well. Certain friends and certain workplaces might not be understanding or sympathetic to who you are. But I am, and trust me, I am very, very comfortable to stand there and say to anybody who asks me about my faith and my religion. But yeah, it's just in two different ways. Okay, there's quite a few conversations being dropped in there. As I'm talking to you, I can just see boom, boom, boom. There's quite a few conversations being talked, which I love. I am, however, Christians are human beings, and obviously we have feelings too. Like Brenda said this week, she really struggled with what had happened to her this week, and we should always choose love rather than show hate. We should choose to forgive rather than wallow in bitterness and vengeance. We must choose peace over war, and we should choose happiness over sadness. We should choose light all the time over darkness. And I try to choose what is right. I don't always get it right, and I'm sure every Christian don't always get it right. There's only one person in my eyes who actually got it right every time on the nail. But that's what I choose, and that's what I believe Brenda's trying to choose as well. And that's why sometimes when certain people contradict her views and her values, it's hard for her to operate in the environment that she so wishes to be in. But we as a society have moved so far away from simple ethics and principles. And again, Darren, this is going back to, your question in a way that, if you as a person are holding up certain values and certain principles, you're the one who's seen as boring or tight or not fun or need to loosen up, or something's wrong with you because you're holding certain values. Because not everybody, that's a harsh word to say, but majority people in life are not holding up certain values. Ben said, well, Christian religion of faith can only be a good thing in times of need. That's very good, Ben. I honestly believe, and I'm going to stick to what I'm going to stick to, because I'm going to go away from it again. So my point about that was that even though you do try to hold up certain morals and certain values, because society has moved that far away from where we should be, that when you are a person that has values and morals, you're the one what is deemed as you're a crackpot. You're not fun. It's boring. She's boring. Loosen up, man. Everybody's at it. Because you're supposed to fit in with the norm. But I believe, Brenda, honestly, that you're a woman of real strength and a real character, because you are not the norm. You found strength to be who you are, to be quite comfortable with who you are, and know that, just like I said before, Jesus also had, emotions which run high and which run deep, whether it was temptation, whether it was, wanted to get out of a certain situation, whether it was anger. So don't feel because you've experienced that there's anything, that you should, be worried or frightened about. But as a Christian, we obviously have to hold up to certain standards. But due to the love of God, if certain people, certain principles are not met, then even the grace of God is sufficient for it to forgive us all. Thanks, Ben. No, she's really... Just reading some of these things that are popping up and down. Okay. Okay. So we have choices to make. We choose to forgive, or we choose not to forgive. We choose to hang on to it. We choose to let things go. We choose to go and speak to somebody in a respectful manner about a situation, or we choose to hold it as a grudge. We have the decision, the choice to make, and the choice rests with each and every one of us. For me, what reward is there in going with what's the normal? I would rather speak to someone in a respectful manner if somebody really ticks me off. Do I get angry? Of course I get angry. But sometimes I like to stew on the emotion first before coming back to the response. And I think that's what age and wisdom and the teachings actually enable you to do. I just think it's great when you as an individual choose to stand there on your own feet, stand apart from what is the normal. I refuse to put my trust in this world. I keep seeing these things pop up. I look around me right now. Would I say the church is in a good place? No. Would I say religion is in a good place? No. Would I say society is in a good place? No. But would I say my faith with my father's in a good place? Yes. And that's who I choose to put my faith completely 100% behind. I don't trust no government. I don't trust the Euros. I don't trust the new Prime Minister. I don't trust certain... I've seen too much and witnessed too much with these two eyes and heard too much and read too much. I don't know how somebody can live in today's society really without the influence of a real role model, a real figure. For me, my role model, undoubtedly, is Jesus. I'm not the vicar or the... No. Because I know what some of them may be up to or some of them have done. I think I know who you choose to serve as well, Brenda. And don't get it twisted, Brenda. You're not weak. You're not a freak. You're not an oddbod. Yes, you can get upset. Yes, you can get angry. But you choose to forgive. And you've stood out and been strong enough to shower forgiveness on somebody that probably didn't warrant your forgiveness. This is a sign of strength and a sign of undenying love for your faith. And this is what it says in the Bible in Jeremiah 29, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Don't let the past hold back what's going to be coming to you in the future. It takes one bad decision to throw you off the track. You're going from here to London, you take the wrong turn, takes you off your destination, and it takes you longer than what it would have if you'd have just been focused and stayed on your destination, or if you'd have planned it better. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look at his appearance or at his physical stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see a man as a man sees himself." He doesn't look at the outward man, but the Lord looks at the heart. You can tell how the good root of a tree is by the fruit it bears. Great one. Let that one soak in a minute. You can tell the root of a tree by what the fruits bear. Brenda, God didn't promise us a life without tribulation. He didn't promise a life without trials. If you look into the Bible, there's lots of stories of people, prophets. You look at Moses, who spent 400 years in the desert. You look at Samson, who was betrayed by Delilah. You look at Jonah, who was stuck in the belly of a whale. Even Jesus was tempted several times by the devil. So what am I trying to say? That even the prophets within the Bible faced persecution. Some faced being mocked, some were beaten. So what you've had over the last week or so is not something that is not part of biblical. It's there. But I'm going to ask, before I ask this question, what is tempting others? What are you stuck in? What are you failing to deal with in your life? What is your Goliath? You look through what happened to David, and David, through his faith, knew he had strength and determination to face this big giant that everybody was scared of. Others ran, but I'm telling you, especially Brenda, you are a David. You are a David. And that's what I'd like to say to others, is that a life as a Christian, it doesn't make you devoid of any problems or of any tribulations. Just like what happened to Jonah and Moses, and I can keep going on. But what I have is a peace, an inner peace. I also have support, and I also have a guider, a protector of the right way to do things, in my opinion. That's how I feel. I have such a ease, and I'm sure, Brenda, that's what I pray for you, is to find such an ease when dealing with problems that will undoubtedly come. This is life. We're all human beings. And if they came to Jesus, then they're going to come to us. But know this, that you're not out there on your own when you're dealing with these problems. You're out there with the creator of the earth, who knows what you need at a sufficient time to help pull you through a problem. He didn't promise us a life without challenges, but he promised us a life with support and guidance, and the guidance in his word. He will be there to the end. Yeah. I see him every day. In the world I look, can't fail to see and witness him. But like I said, he didn't promise us a world, or he didn't promise us a life without problems. But he gave us a manual. He gave us the hope that we can go through life and deal with the problems in the correct and proper way. I'm going to answer some of these questions. I want to go back to, I can't find does. Okay. I love your faith, John, but the manuscripts are and were passed through generations over thousands of years by many different authors. As you well know, how do you differentiate between religion and morality? Why and how do you believe what you say is true? Isn't living a good life? For example, okay, so I think we as human beings, we have a choice. We have a choice, and there's nobody's been forced, nobody will be pushed. Everything in life is a choice. You either choose to believe or don't choose. You either choose in the morning to put on trousers or jeans or not. But what is quite clear and what is quite evident is that we all, not all, but we all have a choice in life to where we're going to put our beliefs towards. There's reasons why I choose to believe what I choose to believe. And I'm not going to get into any reasons to say, well, this is why God exists, and this is what this is why I'm proving it to you. We're going to get a proof that you're wrong and I'm right. But I believe there's more to life than just why we're here. I also believe that in 75 years, a lifespan is short. I also believed in my ancestors that have passed, that they've not just passed and dissolved. I also believe if there's good, if there's bad, there's also good. I also believe I look at the stars and I look at the moon and I look at the sun and I'm amazed. I look at the depth of the sea. I look at places where man cannot go. I look at the BC before Christ in all the schools. Every school recognises that. I listen to the national anthem, and quite clearly the England team belt out God Save Our Gracious Queen. I look at my granddad, who served diligently for the last 60, 70 years. My granddad's not a daft man. I look at what God's done in my life. I look at my children. I look where I am. I look where I've been blessed. And I choose to believe in a God that has delivered for me untold times. I've seen I've seen what he's done and what he's provided for me and my family. Without shadow of doubt, I've seen the blessing that has been upon my grandparents' life. I don't need to be questioned about it. Some people may, but I 100% don't. And that is Michael Johnson being real. I've seen the discipline in my life over the last five or so years ago, and those that probably know me, and I know some online, will probably be saying, nah, that can't be. 10 years ago, this wouldn't have been happening. I wouldn't have been in the place to do this. Is that about being a good man? Yeah, but there's also certain principles that have gave me the opportunity to sit here, not just talking as a good man, talking with some real foundation, some real hope for the future. And I know being a good man just isn't enough. What constitutes a good man? But I know what a good man is supposed to be in somebody else's eyes. So that's why, Daz, and I appreciate your question. And the manuscripts could have changed, could have been altered. The bottom line is that I know who made this earth. I know who also died on this earth for me. So whether a manuscript wants to change or not, I fundamentally know what I know. And I choose, having to read and observing this person's life, to follow him. Not certain churches, not certain religions, but him. Thank you. There's been some... So I don't know if that answered your question, Darren. There's some real big questions here. So Adam asked me... Okay. Why does God let little children suffer with life-threatening illnesses? That's a real tough question to ask. And Adam, I'm the first one on here to say I won't know every question, answer to every question. I really won't know every answer to every question. That's a tough question to answer. And I will do some research on that one. I think that one's very, very big. Hi, I'm glad you joined. Gary says, when life is at its lowest and beyond help, how can I reach him? There's so many ways you can reach him, Gaz. There are so many ways you can reach him. You can reach him through prayer. You can reach him through crying out to him. And sometimes life does get low, as Brenda found out. But you see, that Bible, there is not one thing that goes off in this world that Bible doesn't tackle. And through the life stories within that Bible, there is so much hope, so much guidance, so much support around certain issues that I don't believe this world can give. I honestly don't. I'm just reading down the manuscript, so I hope you don't think I'm being rude. So tonight the story is about being a Christian in 2016. It's tough, but I know where I'd rather be. I 100% know where I would rather be. It's an absolute no-brainer. It's given me discipline to give my family, my children. It's given me great family principles to bring my family up in the right and proper way. It's taught me so much. So much. And this is why I said to you, you don't even have to be a Christian as such to understand the values, the core values and family principles that it gives you. But I've took it that step further because I needed to be forgiven. And that's why I chose to be baptized. That's why I chose to enter the water. Because I was coming from a place that wasn't pretty and done some silly things in the past. But in order for me to fulfill the gift that Jesus had for me, I had to seek him. Hey, Joe. It's a big topic, this one tonight. I didn't think it was going to go so big, but it's deep. It really is. It's deep. And I hope, Brenda, that has answered. Gary, I'd be more than too happy to help you when you come off here. Always been a Christian, but I haven't been in the army 14 years. Now in a dark place. I need God. Guys, I honestly, I encourage you to hold on. I really do encourage you to hold on. Because I know that even in your dark hours, he would hold on. I'm telling you. And this is why this is so interesting, nights like this, or when you speak like this, because there's so many people who are online who you won't know are struggling with certain things. You don't know who are faced with certain issues in life, but it's reaching out through debates, through talks like this, that those who are suffering find the strength and character to reach out. And I really say to you guys, reach out to someone, because I wouldn't mind exploring as to why you're in such a dark. There's a reason for it. Michael, can I share this? On a lady in my church just had a baby. That baby should have died in his mother's womb. The doctors cannot believe this. But he's done the doctors on his heart. And that's a good point. That's really a good point, Brenda. And going back to Adam's question, why does God let children suffer with life-threatening illnesses? Let's flip that. There's some people what shouldn't be here. There's some children what shouldn't be here. There's some elderly what shouldn't be here. There's so many people that shouldn't be here who are here due to the grace of God. Why does God let children suffer? Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't attach that to him, because anything that is bad and negative, and that's not him. I agree with that, John. And it's true, there's always the opposite. And you know what? Let's get down to the crux of this. Who's gonna actually wait? Who's gonna actually wait until you're 80, 85, and your eyes finally shut, and you think to yourself, "Oh my word, where am I?" Why would you? What? Why? Why are you going to take that risk? Why would you live your life and then at 70, 75, you pass away and then go, "Oh my word, I should have done." Listen, and it's really helping me. Lauren, got a lot of time. You know what? Something, yeah. Okay. Let me focus back. Why would you do that? Why would you gamble with your life? When the simple principles are to live a good life and to acknowledge God. Why would you gamble? Why would you... People say you're missing out. Missing out on what? It's not boring being a Christian. It's not you're in a mad... No. I'm a bit balmy myself, to be quite honest, but I just don't understand why certain people would choose to toy. This is serious. This is your life. It really is a serious subject when you look at your life and where you are. Just look at some of the films and some of the demonic things in films, what people are showing. Look at the evilness. Tell you what you do. Okay, let's go deep. Let's go deep here. Go on the horror films tonight, yeah? Go on Sky tonight. Look at this, some of the demonic things, what they are putting out, not in just horror films. Look at some of the demonic things they are putting in some of the games. Look at some of the demonic ways. Just look at some of the demonicness on your TV screen. This is how deep this subject is. If you don't want to take the smack in your face, look, open your eyes and see what's going on in the world. They ain't promoting nothing else other than pure demonicness in music, in the film industry, on the games. The other day, my son wanted to play a game. Not wanted to play a game. Actually asked about a particular game. When I looked at the game nearly frightened me as a 43-year-old man. You shouldn't say that, actually. You should say, "Oh, you don't look 43. But this is serious. Pure demonicness within it. Look and open your eyes as to what is going on. It's a serious world out there right now. And I need to bring this back to Brenda because I keep getting carried away. But I just had to have that real deep conversation. And as John said, you better believe if there's black, there's white. If there's cold, there's hot. If there's light, there is darkness. If there's left, there's going to be a right. There's always an opposite. If there is good, there is bad. If there's the bottom, there is the top. If there is evilness, Halloween's fast approaching, there's something else. So I hope that has helped Brenda. I hope that has helped those who wondered about Christian life. Next week, I'm not sure what the subject will be, but we'll probably taper it down, because this one again was a deep subject, but it's one that needed to be tackled. And Brenda, I got the cross on the switch. Brenda, there's so many films that you could actually go out there and watch that. I have to wonder where people get the imagination, where people get the mindset to put so much films out there, which are of that mindset. And it's serious. And people need to open their eyes and really have a look at what is out there. Because it's a deep subject, this is. It's life-changing and life-saving. That's the most important. And I choose 110%. I choose 110% to live a life that is hopefully pleasing to God. Am I perfect? No. But I strive and I keep pressing on. And will continue to press on. Because I know what I know. I know it's the way, I know it's the truth, I know it's the light. And I know that when these eyes go like this, eventually, know where I'm going. Know where I'll be. I'll be good. So on that note, I bid you all a great week. I absolutely 110% value each and every one of your opinions. And guys, just be safe, knowing that whether you're a Christian or not, God loves you. Knowing whether you're Christian or not, I wish you a good week, and knowing that I will hopefully see you at the back end of next week, Sunday, at 9:30 for another show about, I don't know yet. God bless you and good night.